What's up, everybody? EC with Combustion Monkey here. You are here because you are having trouble starting your 6.9 indirect diesel, indirect injection diesel. Obviously same for 7.3, I'm sure. It's 38 degrees, 37, 30, it says 34, but it's constantly going down. I just don't have time to wait, I'm too cold. But I just want to give you some pointers. So I bought this thing and it had sat for like 5 or 8 years, something like that. And when I got it, it just wouldn't start. I had to prime the fuel pump constantly, just to get fuel to get to the injection pump. And it just turned over real slow. I didn't really know what was going on. I had some leaks up top. So you want to make sure, first of all, if you have the problem where you're not getting fuel to your fuel filter, make sure you go through and replace all of these lines. You see I replaced them, put on new clamps. There's a kit that you can buy. It's not very expensive. Takes a little bit of time, not too hard. But that was one problem. So I replaced those, and then I was getting fuel consistently to the fuel pump. To the fuel filter. And once you start getting fuel constantly to the fuel filter, then you don't have to worry about that, obviously. And then next I had glow plug issues. When I bought it, I had to replace all the glow plugs because they were all ballooned. It was a real pain in the butt to get them out. I had to just sit there and work them constantly with throwing oil down there and twisting them, pulling up as hard as I could. Finally got them out. It was an absolute nightmare. But yeah, make sure you have good glow plugs. I bought the Motorcrafts. That's what everybody says works best, and honestly, I've tried a couple of different ones. I tried Auto Light. That was the ones that ballooned when I bought them. Or I'm sorry, when I bought the truck, they had them in there, Auto Lights, and they were ballooned, so do not buy Auto Lights. I then bought Bosch glow plugs and blew those, because here's a little tip. Never use your glow plugs when you're jumping your battery, because it fries them. So instantly fried those. Sorry, I'm cold. Fried those, so then I had to replace those. They stopped working. So I just bought the Motorcrafts, and they've been great. So basically replaced the glow plugs, replaced the return lines. I had an electric pump, or I do have an electric pump in here, which is janky as heck, but helped when I was priming. Obviously now I just have it disconnected and the fuel bypasses it, no problem. I'm going to probably end up running just a hose that goes from the fuel tank directly down to the normal pump. That's the next project, but it works now, so no big deal. But basically I wanted to show you, I think I have some videos. I'm going to try to cut them into this video of what it used to start like, as far as the turning over rate. Very slow, and I didn't realize it, but I had to end up going through, and there's a couple of grounds from each of these batteries. You just follow, the ground. It goes down to the block. There's 2 of them, and what was happening is I wasn't getting a good connection to the block. They were actually loose. So that's number 1. I would always check those, make sure they have a good ground, clean the grounds, everything is good. I had to replace the starter because those grounds weren't good. So what was happening is the starter was taking on a heavy load of that ground, and it actually ended up melting the ground on the starter. So it was just a big cluster, and those are definitely things that you're going to want to do. Check your starter, make sure the ground's not melted. Check the grounds on your block to make sure that they are getting a very good ground. Once you do that, you're going to notice the turnover of the engine is extremely quick. I don't even have really good batteries in this. I mean, I only have 2 650 cold cranking amp batteries. I think they recommend like 750 or 800 per battery. So I probably could get even a little bit faster if I decided to spend the money on expensive batteries. But all in all, I have bad fuel in this thing. I mean, it's 8-year-old fuel, so it smokes when I start it. But I'll show you where I'm at now. Like I said, it's 38 degrees or something like that out right now. Gotta get a new switch for this, but let me go ahead and get the keys out. This hasn't been started in a couple weeks, so I typically go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll turn off the plugs. I'll let it sit a minute. Push my clutch down, and then I'll give it a little bit of gas, maybe eighth of a throttle, eighth of a throttle, something like that, eighth, quarter. I'll kind of pump it a little bit if I have to. See how fast it's turning though. All right, so I'll let it sit. You can see it smoking out the back. I don't know if you can see that, but definitely very bad fuel. 3, 4, 5 seconds more. Let it sit for a second. All right. Told you it's been a while, so hopefully she starts. I'm not gonna make a fool of myself. But you can tell how fast that motor's spinning. Before it was more like a, you know, now it's like a, it's much different. All right, let's let that sit for a second. Let the cylinders get all nice and warm. And we'll give it another shot and hopefully it fires. There she goes. I mean, these engines, man, they're just... See all that smoke? It's unbelievable. I can't even believe it runs on this fuel. But yeah, I mean, these engines are so freaking cool. I mean, it's hard to start them. Definitely hard to start them. It's not like some of the other diesels that I've had where it fires up right away every time. But they just run like tops, man. It's pretty damn cool. So loud. It's so cool, man. I love this thing. So yeah, I hope that helps you. I mean, obviously, not the best video, but I'm not trying to make anything super professional here. I just want to try to give you some tips, because when I bought this thing, I mean, I would spend 30 minutes just priming the pump and then turning it over, priming the pump, turning it over, and it was just like I was creating heat in the cylinders by turning it over. I mean, the glow plugs were useless. So that, plus the fuel issue, plus the grounding issue, it all just made it very difficult to start. So overall, like I said, first and foremost, make your grounds are all nice and clean on the block. Make sure your starter ground isn't burnt up. Make sure you don't have any leaks coming from these return lines, because that'll make it so that the fuel goes back to the tank and then you lose prime in your fuel filter. And yeah, I think that should do it. If you can do those things, and obviously make sure you have good glow plugs in there, that makes it a lot easier. If you can do all those things, you shouldn't have any problem starting this beast. I mean, I'm very new to this motor. This is the first 6.9 I've ever owned, and I was a little worried when I bought it because I don't really know what the hell I'm doing, but obviously a lot of research, a lot of help from people online and other YouTube video channels helped me to kind of explore where my issues could be, and I truly think that I have it ready to go. These things are, you know, if I'm driving this thing in the cold and I drive it somewhere and then it gets cold, I didn't want to have to get stuck there and not be able to start it. So at least now I can take it anywhere I want and I know it's going to start up. I don't have to have it plugged in to the engine block heater or anything like that. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Obviously, I just want to try to help others with the same issues that I was experiencing. It seems like a ton of people have that issue, so I think this video should be pretty popular. I think it should help quite a few people, and obviously if I could help in any other way, just drop a comment and subscribe if you feel like seeing any other future videos of this thing. Thanks so much for your time, and good luck. Enjoy that 6.9 or 7.3.